Iran has warned that it will close the strategic Strait of Hormuz again if U.S. continues its blockade of Iranian ports. U.S. President Donald Trump has claimed that Iran has agreed to never close a crucial waterway again. But Iran's parliament speaker, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, accused Trump of making false claims. Ghalibaf suggested that Trump's claims are part of a media warfare and engineering public opinion, but said that Iran will not be affected by these tricks. On a post on X, Ghalibaf claimed that Trump had made 7 false claims in 1 hour. He added, and I'm quoting, "With the continuation of the blockade, the Strait of Hormuz will not remain open." Ghalibaf said the maritime movement would be subject to Iran's control, with routes determined by field conditions rather than political messaging. Echoing the stance, Iranian lawmaker Ibrahim Azizi said vessels passing through the strait must comply with a new system set by Iran, underscoring Tehran's intent to assert authority over the waterway. Now, reports suggest that vessels may have to pass through a designated route, traveling further north through waters closer to Iran's mainland near Larak Island, a route that some ships were observed taking during the war. And as you can see on the map on the screen, earlier Iran's foreign minister has said that the Strait of Hormuz has reopened for commercial vessels, and Trump hailed that decision but said that the naval blockade of Iranian ports would continue until a peace deal is agreed upon. Iran also rejected the U.S. president's claim that it was ready to surrender its nuclear materials. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghieh has said that transfer of Iran's enriched uranium to the U.S. has never been raised in negotiations.
I will let you know, enriched uranium from Iran is not going to be transferred anywhere. As much as the soil of Iran is important and sacred to us, this issue is important too.
Trump has claimed that the U.S. and Iran would jointly remove uranium from Tehran's nuclear sites with excavators under any peace deal.
And somebody said, how are we going to get the nuclear dust? We're going to get it by going in with Iran, with lots of excavators, because the B-2s, remember when fake news CNN said, well, maybe obliteration is too strong a word, obliteration. That's so deep. We need the biggest excavators you can imagine, but we're going to go in together with Iran, we're going to get it, and we're going to take it back home to the USA. Very simple.
Now, Trump has sounded upbeat about the chances of a peace deal with Iran, saying that there are no sticking points and a deal is very close. But a senior Iranian officials say that significant differences between Iran and the U.S. remain. The official who spoke on condition of anonymity said that no agreement has been reached on the deals of the nuclear issues, and serious negotiations are required to overcome differences. All right, to discuss more upon this, we are now being joined by Dr. Abner Cohen from Ontario, California. He's a professor of non-proliferation and terrorism studies at Middlebury Institute. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, Dr. Cohen.
My pleasure.
Well, there are many contradicting statements coming from the U.S. and Iran and Israel. I'll begin with the latest on Israel and Lebanon first. Now, there is a very fragile ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, and the attacks do continue in Lebanon. Netanyahu, in his recent statement, said, and I'm just going to quote here, he said, Hezbollah today is a shadow of its former self compared to the twilight days of Nasrallah, but I say honestly, we have not yet finished the job. And there are things we plan to do against the remaining rocket threat and against the drone threat, and I will not go into detail. What do you make of these statements coming at this point?
Well, Netanyahu was told to stop, and he did stop. And it came from Washington, D.C., from President Trump. Obviously, he was criticized by many Israelis, politicians, and people in the north of Israel who suffered those bombing from Hezbollah. So he needs to go with a certain language as if it's not completely over and Israel may have a right to respond or to continue and this continue in some indefinite future. The fact is that right now there is a ceasefire. It's fragile indeed. I think that Hezbollah has interest to keep it, and I don't think that Israel will break it. So that's where we are right now, I think.
Now, Hezbollah does seem at odds with the Lebanese state. Do you think Israel-Lebanon talks will help resolve things with Hezbollah in any way, as Trump has announced historic move by getting Israeli and a Lebanese leader on the table?
That's a very, very tough issue, and I think the movement is going to be slow. It's not as simple for any president, especially this president of Lebanon, to move into direct conversation with Israel. His life is at stake. There are threats against his life. So I think they're going to measure very cautiously the temperature within Lebanon itself. It's possible that will be some kind of meeting in Washington, D.C. in the coming weeks, but I think it will be a slow approach from both sides, in particular the Lebanese, who needs to see that they have enough legitimacy from inside, not just from the Shiite minority, and the Shiite in Lebanon are about 30%, Hezbollah and the non-Hezbollah factions of the Shiite, but also from other Muslims, Sunni, and also from the other parts of Lebanon. So it's a very, very tricky issue, and I see the movement is going to be slow and cautious.